Hey team, welcome back to the channel. Today we are looking at the top 5 full court presses. Now, full court press is something that you want to implement into your team's strategy to get a lot of buckets. Boom, shakalaka! Full court press are great for a few things. One, creating turnovers. You're able to steal the ball and you can run up the score in a hurry. Two, it's about pressuring the other team so that they are making the errors. Thirdly, you want to make sure that you're controlling the tempo of the game. Make sure you stick around to the end of the video so that I can give you an extra tip on how you can implement any of these full court press defenses in a really strategic way that might fit your team's play a little better. So when your team is full court pressing, you're wanting to look to intercept a pass or to trap the other team in some strategic spots on the court. Make sure you watch where those traps are happening. And never forget that good defense always leads to great offense. So with that said, let's take a look at the top 5 full court presses. To start us off, we're looking at the 2-2-1 full court press. Here we have Team White set up in the 2-2-1. The ball's inbounded to their point guard. How you set this up, you're gonna have 2 defenders in the front, 2 near the middle of the court, and you have 1 as a safety back. Now this press is really great for adding a ton of pressure immediately on the ball when that ball is inbounded. However, it has a few weaknesses. One is that if you ever get that ball to the middle of the floor, from the point guard to the middle of the floor, this guy can now just destroy the defense, because once this ball is over top of these 4 players' heads, it's essentially a 3-on-1, which will lend to a layup every single time for your opponent. So you have to balance the amount of aggressiveness that you want on this press for a 2-2-1, or playing it a little cooler with one of the other 4 options. Coming in at 4th, we have the 1-3-1 full court press. Now this press, maybe it's more of a half court press. Either way, it is something that you can implement into your game, and it's really versatile. It's versatile because if you want to do a full court press, you just push your press of a 1-3-1 closer up to your opponent, or if you want to do a half court press, you set it up at the center of the court. Lastly, if your team's strategy is to run a 1-3-1 zone, everybody essentially stays in their same spot in the same roles, and you just shift that back into the half court. So with the 1-3-1, once again, we have Team White set up in the 1-3-1. We got a first defender. His job, much like some of the other defenses we're going to look at, is to force the ball to a side of the floor, right, to the sideline. Then we have a row of 3 guys in the middle of the floor, and then we have our safety guy. What's nice about this defense is it really clogs the middle of the floor. A lot of offenses want to keep the ball in the middle of the floor. However, now you have a defender standing right there, so it's really hard to pass through the middle and dribble through the middle. Essentially, as these players are coming, they're going to be forcing a trap right before half or right after half. In turn, these players are going to be rotating to make sure that they're taking off the passing lanes and watching for any long passes. Much like the 2-2-1, once this front row or this front level of defenders gets beat, it's essentially a 3-on-1 or a 2-on-1 with your other defenders further down the court, which can lead to a layup. Right in the middle of the pack is a man-to-man full court press. Now, this isn't a zone defense, but it is very effective. At different levels of basketball, just picking up your check in the full court can cause the other team some headaches and make them panic.
The bigger the shove, the bigger the love.
They might even just turn the ball over because now they're being forced to dribble more with pressure right in their face. And so in a man press, you can see here that the point guard is right up on top of the ball, and he's going to be forcing one way. Depending on which way he goes, he's still going to have other defenders help him trap. If he goes to the left side of the floor, you have this defender that can come over and help to trap. Now I know what you're thinking. Well, that leaves the guy right in the middle of the floor open. Exactly. However, if you have the proper rotation, a third defender will be there to rotate and watch for the pass. It's really dangerous for this point guard to throw the long ball. It can get intercepted. So really the choice is either going to the middle of the floor or back to the safety valve. of which this defender can jump the pass, intercept it, and go in for a layup. You need to have the right rotation on a man press. So make sure that you work hard and anticipate where that pass is going, and that's going to take a lot of practice. In second place, one of my favorite full court presses is the 1-2-1-1. This is a great overall zone press. It has a little bit of everything. It has that pressure on the ball right off the start. It also has a guy in the middle of the floor protecting, watching that passing or dribbling lane. It also still has a guy back here watching any Hail Mary passes that might try to beat you right off the hop. The goal is to trap the offensive player along the sideline. This front guy, he needs to be very active and very aggressive to angle this player all the way to the sideline where he'll be able to have help and trap. Respectively, his teammates that are in the zone are going to be watching for those passes where they can now rotate over top of their players, making sure that there's no easy pass. Larry Bird watching Curry, who was the inbounder. Zion is still watching the middle of the floor, while Shaq has both these guys if the ball is going to be made for a long pass, which is quite actually easy to intercept. Now in this trap, you can see that these two defenders are going to be working together with active hands and quick feet, not allowing the dribbler to get in between them or around them on the sideline. Zone presses, a lot of work, but they can be very effective. In our top spot, we have the 1-2-2 zone press. All these concepts, as you go through these zone presses or the man press, you want to have the right rotation. I like this zone press because it's aggressive and it communicates to your opponent that you guys mean business. So what you do in a 1-2-2 press is very like the 1-2-1, but with a bit more communication and a bit more rotation. The ball's inbounded and the ball is being chased towards the sideline where we're looking for a trap. When that happens, these back row defenders, if the ball comes to your side, you are watching the guy in the middle. He might try to start leaking out and you have to jump the pass. The guy who is on the weak side of the floor, now they're looking to anticipate where that pass is going. Essentially, they might have three options. They could be passing the ball back to their safety, or they could be trying to lob it over to one of their bigs down on the other end of the court. So once again, it takes practice, anticipation, and getting used to seeing where that pass might go as you bait them for the open man, but look to jump in front, intercept the pass, and go for a layup. With the 1-2-2, I really like this as well because one, the front guy on your press, he's going to be a pit bull chasing after that ball, even if it is passed back, and you're also clogging the middle of the floor with two defenders, which makes it really hard to make that pass to the middle or to dribble through there. So my little tip is this: decide with your team, the personnel you have, on how aggressive you want your press to appear. You can do one of three things. You can look to trap right after the inbound pass. Here we have the point guard in the corner and your defense is quick to the ball, looking to trap immediately. The second option is what I showed in a lot of my demonstrations. You can look to trap right before the half court line, where you're forcing the player to the sideline, getting them to dribble, expend some of their energy, and then trapping them before they cross over half, looking to get that 8-second count. And lastly, if you want, you can bait the other team to think that you're holding off your zone press, but really you're waiting for them to cross half. And the minute they cross half, you're looking to trap them hard and pin them in that box with the sideline, the half court line, and your two defenders. So practice, try them out, see which one's effective for your team. That's a switch.